Hello everyone, welcome back to Rob's Movie Reviews. Let me just take a quick moment to let everybody know who has been watching my videos here on YouTube that you can follow me now as well over on the BitChute platform. I've started up a channel over there. This video, as well as all my future videos, will be uploaded to that channel as well as YouTube. You can still follow me here. And I'd like to also take a quick moment to give a shout out to a particular content creator here on YouTube who is also over on BitChute. He's a young man who's very well read, he's very intelligent, very educated, and he offers wonderful political and current event analysis, among other things. I think if you like a fresh take on the things that are going on in the world today, you need to check out Mr. Sticks Hexenhammer 666. That's the name of his channel. Don't let the 666 fool you. It has nothing to do with Satanism. It's just his private little joke, I guess. I really don't know why he chose that, but he's, like I said, he's extremely intelligent. Check him out. I think you'll enjoy his analysis on the world events and on politics. And with that being said, I would like to start this week's review, which is a wrap-up to the four-part series I've been doing on the best of the Dracula films of all time. There's been literally hundreds made. I picked four to be in the best of category. We're talking about movies that strictly deal with telling the story of Bram Stoker's novel. And my fourth and final entry into this category is 1992's Bram Stoker's Dracula. As you can see, I have it here in a two-movie set along with Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. This is a great movie. It's wonderful. It stars Gary Oldman in the title role as Count Dracula. You have Anthony Hopkins as Dr. Von Helsing, Winona Ryder as Mina. You've got Sadie Frost, Tom Waite as Renfield. He does a brilliant job. Of the four movies I've already reviewed in the Dracula category, Tom Waite's Renfield is by far the absolute best. He's a highlight of the film. You got to check him out. Check this movie out if you haven't already, just for his performance. He's wonderful. This film was directed by Francis Ford Coppola, and I can't even pronounce the gentleman's name who does the music for this film, so I'm not even going to try because I don't want to be sound insulting to him. But what a wonderful musical score this film has. This is a great film. It does something that none of the other Draculas had ever done before or since, I believe, and it really goes into the backstory of Dracula, how he becomes a vampire, what his motivations were. And then the one thing about this movie that I don't like, that you don't see as much in the other films, is they really dial up, they ham up the romance aspect between Dracula and Mina. And even though a little bit of that's fine, I think they go way overboard with it in this version, and it kind of takes away from it the horror aspect of it a little bit. But however, this film stays very close to the source material, Bram Stoker's novel. It starts with Jonathan Harker taking the journey to Transylvania. He arrives at Dracula's castle. We find out immediately that before him, Renfield had been sent by the real estate firm that Harker works for to meet with Dracula on purchasing land in London. And Renfield, upon his return to London, had gone completely mad and had been placed in an insane asylum. Harker's sent to finish up the work Renfield started. The deal was made. But before they can leave to head back to London, Dracula reveals his true colors to Harker and takes him prisoner, imprisoning him in the castle, and he leaves for London without him. Back in London, Jonathan Harker's fiancée, Mina, played by the wonderful Winona Ryder, is upset because she hasn't heard from Jonathan in nearly a month. The last letter she got from him stated he was going to stay in Transylvania for an indefinite amount of time until he decided it was time to return, and she knew that that just wasn't like him. She knew something was wrong. Dracula arrives in London. He immediately seeks out Mina, but he does it in a more roundabout way. He goes after her friend Lucy Westerner. He brings Lucy under his spell. He bites her, infects her with the vampire virus, and Mina is helpless as she watches her friend Lucy die. Because Dr. Seward can't figure out what it is that's killing Mina, he cables to have Dr. Von Helsing, his teacher when he was at university, to come and help him solve the mystery of what's happening to poor Lucy. Dr. Von Helsing unfortunately arrives too late to do anything about it. Lucy passes. That's when we find, shortly after that, children in London start being abducted by a strange woman in white who takes them to secluded places and tries to drink their blood from their necks. Von Helsing, of course, like in every other Dracula, he arrived already having a pretty good, suspicion of what might be going on. He's the one that connects the dots and realizes that Dracula, this Count Dracula from Transylvania, is the vampire that they seek. They begin a quest to seek him out and destroy him. However, he gets to Mina and infects her with his blood, and they have several rendezvous even before he bites her and infects her. And it's obvious that even though Mina is engaged to Harker, she's beginning to fall very hard for the Count. She's falling very deeply in love with him, and he with her. And that's about after the second date, right before Mina gets infected by Dracula. We find out that Jonathan Harker has escaped from the castle, has managed to make it to a village in Transylvania, and has messaged for Mina to come and join him there so that they can be wed immediately. Upon their return from the Count's, or from their wedding, this is when Harker joins Von Helsing's quest in trying to destroy Dracula. Dracula infects Mina, like I've already said. They profess their love for one another. She drinks of his blood. And then they start getting really close. They actually catch him the night he's with Mina, but before they can destroy him, he makes his escape. This is when the chase begins. Dracula knows the gig is up. All of his resting places there in London have been desecrated with holy water and crucifixes. He knows his only hope now is to flee back to his homeland and take refuge in his castle. Of course, they pursue him. They take Mina with them because they can tell she has formed a psychic bond with Dracula, hoping to be able to use that to anticipate his moves. However, that kind of backfires on them because Dracula is actually doing the same thing. He's anticipating their moves and manages to stay one step ahead of them no matter how hard they try to catch him before he gets back to the castle. They end up catching up with him just as he's arriving at the castle. There's a fight that ensues between Von Helsing, Harker, Quincy, Dr. Seward, and Carrie Ooms' character. I forgot to mention he's in this movie as well, Arthur Holmwood. A big fight ensues between them, Dracula, and a band of Dracula's gypsies. All the gypsies are killed off. Quincy gets mortally wounded and ends up passing. And Jonathan Harker delivers a blow to Dracula with a knife. He cuts his throat. However, Dracula's not dead at this point. He's stumbling back through the doors of the castle. This is where Mina takes the knife away from Jonathan and begs him to let her be the one to do it. And reluctantly, with the coaxing of Mina and Von Helsing, who tells him this is her job to do now, he relinquishes the knife to her. She goes inside the castle, and at this point, is as strong as her feelings for him are and her love for him, she knows that if she truly loves him, the best thing to do for him is to set his soul free from the living hell that he has endured for several centuries. So after giving him one final kiss, she drives the knife through his heart and ends the life of Count Dracula, and this is where the movie ends. I'd have to say, like I've already said, this is a great, great movie. It's very entertaining, stunningly beautiful visuals. I mean, the visuals are just stunning. It's a wonderful cinematography. It's just a great movie. Like I said, my only fault with it, actually I have two faults with it. The main one being that they go a little overboard with the romance between Dracula and Mina. And I really feel like of all the cast members, everyone was superb in this film, with the exception of Keanu Reeves as Jonathan Harker. He was a complete miscast. He was not right for the part. His British accent that he tries so hard to do it's terrible. His performance in this movie is pretty cringeworthy, and I don't say that as a knock at Keanu Reeves, because I've seen a lot of his stuff over the years. He's a good actor. He was just totally out of his league trying to play this part, and it was a bad call by the casting director. But other than that, other than those two things, this is a wonderful film. You should definitely check it out if you haven't already. Now, I'd like to just take a quick moment again, real quick, to let you know the four movies that I have reviewed over the last 4 weeks. The 1931 Bela Lugosi Dracula, 1958 Christopher Lee Horror of Dracula, 1979 Frank Langella Dracula, and of course the 92 Gary Oldman and Bram Stoker's Dracula. My personal favorite of the four is, drumroll, the 1979 Frank Langella. I just think that it captures the true essence of the story better than any of the other films. It does have the romantic aspect to it, but not nearly as hammed up as it is in the Bram Stoker's Dracula, this one here's version. I just absolutely love Frank Langella. His performance as the Count is wonderful. There's a real gothic feel to the film. It's just, overall, in my personal opinion, it is the quintessential version of Dracula. Of course, everybody's got their own opinions, and a lot of people are going to disagree, and I welcome disagreement, because that's what makes the world go around. Everybody has their own opinions, and I love to hear other people's opinions in the comments, so please comment on this video. And with that, I'm going to wrap up this week's video. It's been a whole lot of fun doing this Dracula series, and I'm going to continue with the horror theme from here on until Halloween. As we march closer, we'll get into some more recent films. Right now, starting next week, I'm going to continue with the classics. I'm going to do a short series of about 3 weeks on the various versions of Frankenstein. And until next week, you all take care.